Tonight, on First at 9, this Thursday, the 14th of November 2024. Sri Lanka waits. Polling for the 2024 general election concludes. Voter turnout down to 65%. This year's polls the most peaceful in recent history, claim election watchdogs. To each their own. Parliamentary candidates cast their ballots at their respective polling stations. Ready, set, go. Other Derana 24 starts election results coverage. All set to bring the latest results of the parliamentary polls to your doorstep.
Chilo Dairy, Sri Lanka Kiren Perata. Obe Vishwasi Dinu Sensodyne, then Langamati Pharmacy in Labagata Hacker.
Kanta Parisan Karagatot? Happy Parisan!
This is Ada Derana First at 9. Live from Studio 24 in Colombo.
Good evening and welcome to Sri Lanka's premier primetime English news bulletin, Ada Derana First at 9. I'm Tarindu Mahendra, joining you live with the latest in Sri Lanka and from around the world. Now, with polling for the 2024 parliamentary election concluding earlier this evening, the counting of votes is currently underway at 2,034 counting centres island-wide. As per the first result of the election, the National People's Power won the postal vote of the Gold District by claiming 32,296 votes. Sambagi Janabalavege claimed 3,523, while the New Democratic Front came in third, securing 1,964.
The 2024 general election to elect the 10th Parliament of the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka commenced at 7 a.m. today across 13,421 voting centres. A total of 17,140,354 voters were eligible to vote for this year's election. During this year's general election, 8,888 candidates contested from several political parties and independent groups. The police and security forces were deployed to ensure the security of all polling centres island-wide. Several international observer groups were engaged in monitoring election proceedings. Following the conclusion of polling at 4 p.m, sealed ballot boxes were transported to the counting centres. According to the district secretaries, voter turnout island-wide was 65%. Voter turnout has reduced from nearly 80% voter turnout recorded in the presidential election. In the Colombo district, the voter turnout was recorded at 65%, in the Gampaha district 66%, in Kalutara 64%, in Kandy 62%, and in the Matale district 67%. In Norelia, the voter turnout was 68%, in Gaul 64%, in Matara 64%, and in Hambantota the voter turnout was 60%. Meanwhile, in Jaffna, the voter turnout was 69%, and in Kilinochchi, it was 62%. In Vaunia, which falls under the Vanni electoral district, the voter turnout was 65%. The Mannar district saw a turnout of 70%, while the Mullaitivu district recorded a 63% voter turnout. In Batiklo, voter turnout was 61%, in Digamadulla it was 62%, and Trincomalee recorded a turnout of 67%. Meanwhile, in Kurunagala, voter turnout was 64%, in Puthulam it was 56%, in Anuradhapura 65%, and in Polonnaruwa the turnout was 65%. In the Badula district, voter turnout was 66%. Monaragala saw a turnout 63%, Ratnapura recorded a 65% turnout, and Kegol had a voter turnout of 65%. The process of counting votes is currently underway at counting centres island-wide.
ඉතිහාසයේ පැවති මැතිවරණ අතරින් සාමකාමීව මැතිවරණය මෙවර පාර්ලිමේන්තු මැතිවරණයේ හැටියට
This is one of the most peaceful elections in the history of Sri Lanka. Moreover, this election had the fewest election violations in Sri Lanka's history. The misuse of state power and state property has been minimal.
මට්ටමකට තිබුණු මැතිවරණයේ හැටියට සඳහන් කරන්නට පුළුවන්.
It went peacefully as to our observers, as to our reported violations from observers. We did not receive any actually.
නිර්මාණයදාරීන්ගෙන් ඡන්ද ප්‍රතිඵල ලැබුණු විගස මැතිවරණ මහල්ලිකම් කාර්යාලයේදී ප්‍රතිඵල නැවත වතාවක් පරික්ෂා කරලා බලලා
As soon as we receive the results from the returning officers, we will verify them at the Election Commission and announce the results in 3 stages. These stages will include the electorate results, district results and the number of seats won by each political party. After issuing the electorate results, the counting of preferential votes will begin. We hope to release the results as soon as possible.
කල්වේල ඇතුව මහ ජනතාව අතර පත් කරන්නට
ගණන් කිරීමේ මධ්‍යස්ථානවල ආරක්ෂාව මේ මැතිවරණ ප්‍රතිඵලය
We have implemented the necessary security protocols at every counting centre, which will remain in place until the completion of the process. During the post-election period, no rallies will be permitted and permission will not be granted for gatherings to watch the election results.
විසුර හැරීමට කටයුතු කරනවා. වැනි කටයුතු සඳහා සූදානම් වෙන්න එපා.
Horizon Campus 2024 Intake 2. Register now. පිරිපුන් ජීවිතයකට ඔබ සමගින් පෙරට Union Assurance.
Welcome to Cinnamon Life, South Asia's biggest entertainment hub, where awe awaits.
චන්දුරුසුමේ කාගෙන් මනාපේ සිග TV සඳහා සුපිරි ඩීල්. Sadaharita Plantations Limited, celebrating 22 years of your trust.
Meanwhile, parliamentary candidates and other prominent political figures exercise their right of franchise and join the rest of the country in electing the 10th Parliament of Sri Lanka. President Anuradha Dissanayake cast his vote at the Abesingharama temple in Panchikawatha this morning.
We expect a people's mandate in favour of the NPP to establish a powerful parliament in the country. We believe that the people will grant that mandate to the NPP during this parliamentary poll. Following this election, we request the general public to celebrate victory in a peaceful manner. Let's see once the election results are released. A powerful parliament would be sufficient for us. We intend to pass legislation that are favourable and beneficial for the general public. Therefore, no member of parliament will be able to oppose them. Those who require 2/3 majority in parliament are the ones who bring in laws that are not in the interest of the public.
Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya, who contested the election from the Colombo district, exercised her right of franchise at the polling centre in the Department of Samurdhi Development in Mirihana.
Let's wait until the results are released. I believe our team contesting in the Colombo district will secure victory. Following the release of the overall results, we will establish a powerful government in the country. That would be my primary task.
ඊට පස්සේ අපේ කණ්ඩායම තුල තනතුරු ගන්න වෙනවා. ඒක ගන්න සූදානම්. බහුතර බලයක් හම්බ වෙයි කියලා විශ්වාසයක් තියෙනවා.
Meanwhile, leader and parliamentary candidate of the Sarvajana Balaya Alliance, Dilip Jayavira, cast his ballot at the Sri Chandra Rama temple in Mirihana.
We believe that our message, which was delivered in all 22 electoral districts, has been successfully received positively by the people. We are gradually moving forward in this journey. It is important that we move forward with a strategic plan which is beneficial for the public.
Samagi Jana Balavege leader and parliamentary candidate Sajith Premadasa arrived at the Kotuvegoda temple in Rajagiriya to cast his vote.
අද දින පැවැත්වෙන මහමැතිවරණය ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදී ගුණාංගයන් සියල්ලක්ම සපුරාලන මැතිවරණයක් බවට පත් වෙලා විශේෂයෙන්ම නිදහසේ අපේ රටේ ජනතාවට තමන්ගේ කැමැත්ත පළ කරගන්නට ඒ හැකියාව ලැබේවා කියන එක තමයි මගේ කණ්ඩායමේ ඒකායන ප්‍රාර්ථනාව.
Former President Ranil Wickremesinghe meanwhile cast his ballot at the polling centre at the University of Colombo. Former President Mahinda Rajapaksa also exercised his right of franchise at the polling centre at the D.A. Rajapaksa College in Madamulana. Former President Chandrika Bandaranayake Kumaratunga arrived at the Vidyananda Piriven Mahavihara in Nittambuwa to cast her vote. Similarly, former President Maithripala Sirisena and Polonnaruwa district candidate of Sarvajana Balaya Alliance Daham Sirisena cast their ballots at the polling station in Sri Vidyaloka Vihara in Polonnaruwa. In the meantime, Archbishop of Colombo, His Eminence Malcolm Cardinal Ranjit arrived at Carey College, Colombo to exercise his right of franchise. National organiser and nationalist candidate of Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna Namal Rajapaksa also cast his ballot at the D.A. Rajapaksa College in Madamulana.
Fast track your career from O-levels with eSoft.
After O-levels, start your Australian university degree in just 8 months with ACBT's Foundation Program. Enrollments close on 21st October. Call 071 115 1234 for Colombo or 077 011 3223 for Kandy.
Diabetesol සීනි වලින් පරිස්සම් වන ඔබට අමතක නොවන පෝෂණය.
Prime Group ලංකාවේ ප්‍රථම වතාවට හඳුන්වා දෙන land leasing ලේසියෙන් මීටමක්.
Single 1111 up to 60% off from the 11th November to the 17th of November.
With Sri Lanka eagerly awaiting the results of the parliamentary election, Other Derana is ready to bring you the latest election updates using cutting-edge technology and live graphics. The latest updates and results of the crucial parliamentary poll will be brought to you live through our special election coverage, Sri Lanka Decides.
Polling for the 2024 general election to elect the 10th Parliament of the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka commenced at 13,421 polling centres island-wide at 7 am today. Other Derana is ready to keep you updated on the latest information regarding the parliamentary election through the Sri Lanka Decides special election coverage. The election coverage kicked off with Derana at 6:25 am. Thereafter, the Sri Lanka Decides special election coverage commenced broadcasting on TV Derana and Other Derana 24 from 8 am onwards. With production teams and correspondents stationed in each district across the island, we are prepared to bring you the latest updates of the 2024 parliamentary election throughout the day. Studio 24 in Colombo, the largest news studio in South Asia, is equipped with cutting-edge technology to deliver the latest election updates and results to you with live graphics. In addition, election updates will be publicised in Sinhala, English and Tamil through FM Derana, the Other Derana.lk website, Other Derana text alerts and our YouTube, Facebook and X accounts. The election results broadcast commenced at 7:30 pm following the conclusion of the 6:55 primetime news bulletin.
Sri Lanka Decides 2024.
And with that, here's a look at local news across the island in brief.
4 officials engaged in election duty today tragically passed away due to a sudden illness. 1 police officer and 3 civil officials were among the deceased. In the meantime, a person was shot dead in the Badovita area of Mount Lavinia last night. 2 unidentified suspects who arrived on a motorcycle had shot the victim with a T-56 firearm. A nearby CCTV camera had captured the tragic incident. The deceased victim was identified as a 30-year-old resident of Badovita Phase 3 and he has been previously linked to drug trafficking. Devela Police has launched an investigation into the incident. In other local news, a fire broke out on the first floor of a two-storey house near the Hirewata Devalaya in Ambalangoda. A person who was asleep on the same floor was found dead. Police suspect that the fire was caused by a cigarette, setting fire to the bed. Further investigations into the incident are currently underway.
Welcome back. The Netherlands has expressed willingness to provide technical and financial assistance to advance Sri Lanka's agriculture, education, tourism and public sector. Meanwhile, the Korean SME Association has indicated the possibility of offering employment opportunities to Sri Lankan workers in Korea's fishing industry after they undergo local training. During a meeting with Secretary to the President Dr. Nandika Sanat Kumar Nayaka yesterday at the Presidential Secretariat, a Dutch delegation led by Deputy Ambassador Ivan Rotjens expressed the Dutch government's willingness to provide technical assistance and financial resources to advance Sri Lanka's agriculture, education, tourism and public sector. The Netherlands Wageningen University and Research aims to establish new collaborative initiatives with key Sri Lankan stakeholders in agriculture and agro-ecotourism. These collaborations will focus on identifying opportunities and challenges within the sector, enabling partnerships with multilateral organizations such as the Asian Development Bank and World Bank to secure funding for projects in forestry and sustainable food systems. The Dutch delegation expressed strong interest in closely working with Sri Lanka to provide the necessary technological and financial support for these programs. Meanwhile, during another meeting between a delegation from the Korean SME Association and officials from the President's office, the association expressed its commitment to supporting Sri Lanka in advancing the country's agriculture sector and enhancing related employment opportunities. Additionally, the Korean SME Association agreed to provide technical assistance and training resources essential for the development of the fishing industry. The discussions also focused on training Sri Lankan workers locally for Korea's fishing industry and creating employment opportunities for them. The Colombo Bourse closed in green today as a result of price gains in counters such as Sampath Bank and Commercial Bank. The broader all-share price index climbed 0.56% to settle at 13,198.90 points. The more liquid S&P SL 20 climbed 0.99% to close at 3,977.17 points. During the week, the ASPI and the S&P SL 20 gained 3.1% and 3.8% respectively, while recording an average daily turnover of 4.37 billion rupees. Market turnover for the day crossed 3.7 billion rupees, with the banking sector as the top contributor. The food, beverage and tobacco sector was the second highest contributor to market turnover. Foreign participation in the market activity remained at subdued levels, with foreigners closing as net sellers. And with that, here's a look at corporate news in brief. Blue Diamonds Jewellery Worldwide PLC said its online marketplace would offer digital certification services at $5 a gem and private keys with every gemstone listed. The company launched the website fiorjewellery.com to directly reach consumers worldwide. In addition, BDJ announced a strategic partnership with fiorgems.com, the first of its kind online marketplace in Sri Lanka and globally, to integrate digital certificates and private keys with every gemstone listed. Meanwhile, the Commercial Bank of Ceylon Group announced its financial performance for the 9 months ending September 30, 2024. For the period in review, the group reported gross loans and advances of 1.42 trillion rupees, a 9.34% growth since December 2023, while the bank's CASA ratio improved to 39.60% from 39.23% at end December 2023. Profit before tax was 48.73 billion rupees, while profit after tax was 30.38 billion rupees, recording growths of 112.70% and 128.33% respectively. In other corporate news, National Development Bank PLC also announced its financial performance for the 9 months ending 30th September 2024. Gross loans to customers were 501.1 billion rupees, while customer deposits were 611.5 billion as at the end of the period, leading to a loans to deposit ratio of 82%. Bank level pre-tax profitability was 9.4 billion rupees, a marginal decline of 2% year-on-year, while post-tax profitability profitability was 4.5 billion rupees, with profit attributable to shareholders at the NDB group level being recorded at 4.9 billion rupees. And with that, we wrap up tonight's edition of First at 9. Thank you for joining and have a good night.